Why does everything suck? Hi guys, it's Caitlin. I am ready with my freshly squeezed mimosa, and today we're going to be talking about period cups. I obviously am not a doctor. I'm only going to be sharing my personal experience with period cups, menstrual cups, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to be real and honest with you. If you follow me on Instagram or on my blog, you know that I'm just like, tell it like it is. That's all I can do. So yeah, we're going to talk about some weird shit. But I think it's important to talk about periods, and I really wish that I had a video like this when I first started using them. So here we go. Hopefully this helps you out. The first time that I even heard about a menstrual cup was from a friend of mine who was like very natural, I guess you could say. And she told me that she was using a period cup, and I was like, that's disgusting. Like, so you have a cup that just holds your blood inside of you? Like, yeah, that's gonna be a no from me, dog. So at some point my mind changed for one reason or another. I think I was just really fed up with tampons. This is something that I feel like everyone goes through but no one talks about. If you're drinking a lot of water and you're peeing all the time, how the F are you using a tampon? Because every time I pee, it's like, what are you doing? You gotta like reach down there, try to hold the string up, and regardless, like you're gonna get a little bit of pee on the tampon string. So I was like really frustrated with the tampon pee situation. I was Googling like, how do you not get pee on your tampon? Why is this something that nobody talks about? Like, am I the only one who's peeing on my tampon? I really don't think so. Do I not know how to pee? Like I said, we're just getting real up in here, telling it like it is. I'm an oversharer. Hi, my name's Caitlin. I'm an oversharer, but only when it benefits other people, hopefully. And then also, when you're at the beginning or the end of your period and there's like not a lot of blood, it's really painful to get a tampon in and out of there. For me, it just became like, this cannot be healthy. The situation that's happening when I have to remove this tampon and I don't have that much of a period. So I started looking for alternatives, and I found the period cup that I swore was disgusting and I would never use. And now I love it and we're best friends. So I have no affiliation with this company. This is just the one that I chose to buy. I did a little bit of research my first time before I got it. I ended up going with the Lena cup. I just got it on Amazon. I ordered my first one in 2016. So I've had it for 4 years, which I don't even know how much tampons cost these days, but trust me, you'll be saving money. They come in 2 sizes. I went with the small. If your flow is heavier, maybe get the large. First things first, we're gonna do a little period cup unboxing. It comes in this cute little package. So this is what it looks like when it comes out, and you'll see this little tail, which is freaking pointless, and we're gonna cut it off. We'll get to that in a minute. It comes with this little bag. This bag is clutch. Do not get rid of this bag because this is how I store it every month when I'm not using it. And if you're traveling, you can travel with him in the little bag. It's very convenient. Keep the bag, don't get rid of it. It comes with an instruction book, which is probably helpful. Maybe you should read it, but we're not gonna read that right now because I'm sharing my personal experience. Oh, they have a discount code. Apparently I can give you guys a 15% discount. So I will put that link here and I'll link it below. Here is your cup. It's rubber, it's squishy. I don't know why they put this tail here because you cannot pull it out by the tail. It's not a tampon. You can't be pulling on this thing. You have to squeeze it to break the suction and then pull it out. For me, this little tail was painful and I cut mine off almost immediately, which is what I'm gonna do now. I'm literally gonna snip mine right at the base there, bam. I have converted so many of my friends from tampons to using cups. It's just so much better for a myriad of reasons. Number one, you're not gonna get the piss tampon situation. Number two, you don't have the issue of when you're like at the beginning or the end of your period of the pain. Number three, it can last for 12 hours. 12 hours is a long time. You can sleep in it. I personally wear it in the day and I'll sleep in it occasionally, but typically I switch to a pad at night. I just wanna give my vagina like a little moment to breathe, you know, like where everybody's resting. We're just having a rest, but you can totally use it and sleep in it. It's also way better for the environment. So I've converted so many of my friends to this thing, and people always have a ton of questions. I had a ton of questions when I first started using it. So question number one, does it leak? I have never once had an issue of it leaking. When I leave it in all day, like you'll be surprised. First of all, I was surprised the first time I used it because I didn't know how much, like I don't know how much I bleed during a period, because when you take out a tampon, especially if you're using multiples in a day, you're just like, okay, it's red, like there's some blood in there. I don't know how much. I was surprised, and obviously everyone's gonna be different on this, but for me with the small cup, if I leave it in on a really heavy period day for 12 hours, it'll be like up here. It'll be like pretty full. On a slower day, it could just be like down here. It depends, but I've never had an issue with it leaking or overflowing, if you will. The second question is, does it hurt? For me, it does not hurt at all. I don't even notice it being in, but I will preface that with saying when I wasn't inserting it properly at first and I like wouldn't put it up far enough, it hurts. It hurts if you're leaving it down right at the opening of your vagina, quite frankly, because the muscles are like, what's going on? Like, we're trying to close, this isn't working. But if you, we'll get to the insertion and stuff, but if you put it up high enough, it doesn't hurt. You don't even feel it. Like, that's the most amazing part, is I felt like when I had a tampon in, I always feel the tampon. You do not feel this. It's so good. Babyest angel. Can you use it with an IUD? I got a message from one of my followers in another country who gave me a warning that like some famous person in her country used it and pulled her IUD out, and it was a whole thing. I have an IUD and I've never had an issue with the cup. I asked my gynecologist the last time I was in there if it was safe to use a menstrual cup with an IUD, and the medical system of America let me down for the 7,000th time, and she was basically like, yeah, I can't really speak to that. So I don't know where the heck you're supposed to get your information from if you can't get it from a gynecologist. The story that I was told, I think, had to do with maybe suction. And again, I'm not a medical doctor, this is my own personal experience, but I've been using it for 4 years now with an IUD with no issues. I'm just really careful to unsuction it every time. Do your own research, please. Please, I'm not a doctor, do what's best for you. This thing is not, that's another frequently asked question, like, can it get stuck inside your uterus? Like, no. You have, if you've had an IUD inserted, you know there's a tiny ass place up there that they gotta get that thing in to get it into your uterus. This thing is not going past that. Ain't no way, ain't no how. That's not gonna happen for you. It can't get stuck up there. Like, all you gotta do is practice your breathing and like pushing your muscles out and you'll get it back down. Like, it's not going far. Trust me, it's not going far. I'm not gonna lie to you, it takes some getting used to, but once you're in the flow with it, you could do it in your sleep. Like, I feel like now it's just like second nature to me, and it's so easy, and I'm so glad that I switched. It's life-changing. I'm gonna share the way that I feel is easiest to insert it with my experiences and how I always do it. So number one for me, they say that you can take this out anywhere, like in a public restroom. Yeah, that's gonna be a no from me unless it's like an extreme situation. I always put it in and take it out in the shower. It's just easy. Like, you don't have to worry about fucking spilling blood anywhere. You can get into these weird positions. You don't have jeans around your ankle. It's cleaner because there's water. I just shower twice a day every time I have my period. If we go into a drought, that's an issue. We can discuss it another time. But at this point, the way that I put it in, there's different ways of folding it, which I'm sure they detail in the little packet. I think that's probably how I learned to at first. But what I do is I squeeze it. If you can see it, I squeeze it at the bottom like that. And this is, I think it's called a four-fold. I don't know. You take the corner with your little hand and you fold the corner back on itself. So what it looks like on this side is that. I'm gonna really try and show you. If you can see, this is what it was when it's open and full. I squeeze the bottom, so it's flat, and then you take one of the corners and fold it down diagonally as though you're making a number 4. So it looks like this on one side, and on the side where I'm holding it, let me try flipping this. You've folded that corner down like that. So I'll try and do it backwards here, just to reiterate. It's flat, you take your top corner and fold it down, just like that. So essentially, you're creating this little tube, if you can see that, and I'm holding it like this, and I'm kind of bent over in like a little squatting position, and you go in and you push this up there. The first many times probably that I did it, I didn't put it high enough up because I was so scared. But you get used to its positioning once you've used it a few times, and you know, like, okay, I'm gonna push it up like another ½ inch or whatever. It can't go too high. Again, it's not gonna get lost inside of you. It's gonna not feel good if it's too low. So that's kind of how you know that it's too low, is if it's too close to the opening, it's gonna hurt. It shouldn't hurt, you shouldn't feel it. And you just get it in there, and when you release it, it expands again, and that kind of helps like wiggle it up a little bit too. Sometimes I'm like, I can feel it because I know the position it's supposed to be in, and I'm like, ooh, it's still a little too low. So I'll just take my finger and just bloop, push the bottom a little bit. Just wiggle the little bottom to push it up. It doesn't like slip out. Trust me, you got to kind of wiggle it, and it'll wiggle up a little bit, and you can kind of like stand up and settle in, and it'll settle in on itself. It gets in there, and it's good. Now, you go about your day, You live your best life, you're not peeing on your tampon, and then it's time to take it out. The first few times that I used it, I would get it in there and I would be in there for probably like, it felt like 10 minutes, but it was probably like 3 to 5 minutes. I would be freaking out that I was like, the same thing happened to me like the first couple times that I smoked weed. I'm like, I'm gonna be the first person who dies from smoking weed. Like there's no reported deaths. I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be the one that dies. So I was convinced the first many times that I used this that I'm gonna be the first person whose cup goes up into my uterus and I'm not gonna be able to get it out and I'm gonna have to go to the doctor and it's gonna be super embarrassing. Because you know what? Life is hard sometimes and nobody teaches you how to do this. That's why I'm doing this for you guys, because I was so scared, and I'm sure that's how some of you feel. So you've had your day, you're back in the shower, you're ready to take it out, you reach up, you're gonna feel it. It doesn't go, the highest I feel like mine has ever gone is maybe like this far up, like the cups length. And if I ever feel like it's a little high for me to grab at the bottom, I'll do that kind of like just push it down with your muscles, your pelvic floor muscles. So to get it out, you're gonna reach up. I use these 2 fingers. So you kind of make like a little thing. Wait, do I use those? No, I use these fingers. Okay, I use my thumb and my middle finger, and you just kind of slide them. Like, I'm gonna give you clear tips here because none of this shit was clear to me. You know, I'm sorry, like we're just being honest here. I put it together and I just kind of reach up there, and you can kind of spread yourself a little bit. Just being clear here. So here's your little cup inside of you. You go reach up and you're just gonna grab right here, and you gotta pinch it to release the suction. That's the key. You'll read about it in the book. You have to release the suction, because if you're trying to pull it out and it's suctioned, like that's just not gonna work. It's definitely dangerous if you have the IUD. Just make sure you get it suctioned. If you can't get enough of a grip on it to get it out, again, do your pelvic floor, push it down. Right? So then all you do is you just squeeze it, bloop, and pull it out. And I swear to you, once you have the little grip on the end, it is easy to pull out. You dump it down the drain, like don't get it all over your shower. Be strategic with it. When it pulls out, it's not like splashing everywhere. It's in the cup, which surprised me the first time. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. Rah, rah, rah. But you pull it out and it's just in there. It's not like going everywhere unless you like pull it out with some crazy motion. It's not gonna like fly everywhere. And it's pretty easy. Like again, I'm like in the squat, pull it out, bloop, and then I carefully go over the drain in the shower and dump it down the drain. Then I take the hottest water that I can and rinse off the whole thing. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but up at the top here, there's these little holes. That's what helps keep and release the suction. So you wanna make sure that those are clear. I put it on the hottest water that I can possibly get. I rinse it all off. I make sure that the water is going through the holes, that all the holes are clear. For the night, I like set it out and just let it dry because I use the pads, or you can just put it right back in if you wanna sleep with it. That's totally fine. Some people boil them, like after every cycle or every couple months or so. I've never done that, and it's not necessary from the research that I've done. The only time you like really should boil it is if you used it and you had like a yeast infection or something. I've had mine for 4 years. All I do is wash it with really hot water, and you take your finger in there and you kind of like, you know, get in there, make sure it's clean. You can use a soap if it's a soap that's safe to be around that area. Some companies make specific soap for the cups, but for me, I just honestly use really hot water and make sure that I clean it really well. I've never had an issue. And then at the end of your period, he goes in his little jacket and you put him away. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video, DM me on Instagram. Again, I am not a doctor. I do not claim to have any medical knowledge whatsoever, but apparently even our gynecologists don't have any medical knowledge about what we need to be doing with our cups. So who cares? So I hope that was helpful. I absolutely love mine. I would never in a million years go back to tampons. It literally feels like archaic to use a tampon. Plus, you should look into what they put in tampons because they like bleach it. There's chemicals. I'll link this below, but you know, do your own research. There's a bunch of different brands out there, and I'm sure, you know, everyone's different. Everyone has a different experience. Everyone has a different period. Everyone has a different vagina. I don't think I've ever said the word vagina as many times as I have in this video. It's all for you. I hope it was helpful. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.